Hey, Tony got here. Something I want to talk about it. This is on femininity because I see a lot of femininity coaches and it's a lot of people talking about femininity, and I think that from the male perspective, a lot of women, what they call it feminine and what they think is feminine, from the male perspective, from men who gotta choose a wife, like approach a woman to be his girlfriend and then ask her to be his wife, men look at it differently. And it's not always what a woman think. A lot of women think that femininity means a dress and heels, or that femininity means painted nails and just different things that may be girly, but it don't necessarily mean feminine. Like a woman could have on Timberlands and still be feminine. Feminine to a man means you're not trying to be masculine. So what I mean by that is, and I want you to picture this. Let's say a woman got on Timberlands and she got on baggy jeans, but then she got on necklaces, she got on a nice watch, she got on like a halter top and a blazer. She just took and mixed this here outfit to where that little bit of chest showing or that little bit of stomach showing, that gave her her feminine pop. That jewelry popping, that gave her her feminine pop. But the other stuff could be seen as masculine, but she did it in her own style. So now she might be what we call tomboy chic. So the thing with this young lady, Caitlyn Clark, and the reason why she got us so excited, and this is what a lot of people don't want to address, is that a lot of women basketball players start to emulate men, and they start to dress like men, and they start to talk like men, and they start to walk like men. And it's almost like they are saying, I can't be good at this sport unless I become like a man, unless I look like a man or do my hair like a man and do like this like a man. Or they go to the other extreme and they look like a scallywag, and they feel like they have to be overly feminine, and it's like they out there on the court and they lashes out there. You trying to play defense and you you got lash all in your eye. You getting hit by lash. You trying to play defense. You choking on lashes because the woman out there with these lashes. Like listen, we playing basketball. Man. Don't nobody want all that in their face. And then they got a face full of makeup. It's like, put you some waterproof contour on, not contour, what y'all call that? Concealer. To do your dark circles. Take care of your dark circles. Give you a little even complexion. Boom, you good. It's a lot of women, they going, either they trying to look like Joanna Man, or they feel like they got to go look like, uh, what, the Wayans brothers when they was the white girls in the movie. They going to the Mac store, not the, is it the Mac? Maybe it's Mac or Sephora, and getting in the chair and getting a face of makeup put on before the game. But here you got Caitlyn Clark. She come in, no lashes. If she got on lashes, it's classic volume, 1-to-1. It's not triple length. It's not triple volume. She ain't got on no lashes. She ain't got on no makeup. But yet she don't look like no man. She still look like a woman. And she balling. So to us, it's like, wow, you showing us that a woman don't have to desire to be a transvestite or desire to be a man to be good in sports. And that is the lure, because Diana Taurasi was good, and the country, she had the country on notice, but she became too masculine. And I think she actually is a lesbian. And that's the thing. And then and I think Caitlyn Clark got a boyfriend. I think she got a boyfriend. Now, she may become lesbian down the line because it's a lot of, but for right now, we don't see her flaunting around a girlfriend. So what she appears to be a heterosexual woman playing the game at the highest level. And that to America is attractive. And even her own race, because you gotta remember, white people in America led the conservatives and the Republicans, they're against gay marriage. And a lot of white people are Republican. Whether they're rich or poor, a lot of white people are Republican. So a lot of white people, if you remember from their hate stuff, they would hate on blacks, Jews, and gays. That's who your blue blood conservative white American would hate on. So when they see a white woman who has not shown the world that she's a lesbian and she balling at the highest level, that sell tickets. Because although most companies have to do a pride day and a pride and all of that, a lot of them don't want to. Like Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A may do a multi-million-dollar deal with Caitlyn Clark because she's not an out lesbian. I don't know if she's straight or gay, but because she's not an out lesbian. And listen, I'm not hating on nobody. I ain't hating on nobody. I'm just explaining this because a lot of people don't understand, and it's a lot of lesbian WNBA players who are mad about Caitlyn Clark getting all this shine, and everybody saying that Caitlyn Clark is the face of women's basketball. It's a lot of lesbian basketball players that are angry. But what they don't realize is that majority of America does not agree with that lifestyle. And majority of America don't want their daughter to be raised emulating a lesbian woman, because majority of America understand that a lesbian had to go through a lot to have a child. Like they got to do different stuff to have a child. And these traditional white Americans, they don't want their daughter to become a lesbian. They want the nuclear family. And they don't want, they will accept it. They will accept it, but they don't want to have to go that route. If that's the route their daughter go, they gonna love her. They gonna love her. Most of them. Some of them might disown her, but most of them gonna love her. So what Caitlyn Clark represents, she represents equality. Not in the sense of, gay and straight, but equality in the sense of men's and women's sports. She could shoot the ball the same way Steph Curry shoot the ball. She could shoot the ball as good as any NBA player, and she could shoot the ball better than 99% of NBA players. And she don't have to emulate a man to do so. And that's her draw. That is her attraction. So a lot of people are jealous and they don't understand why she getting all this clout, and it's because she not acting like no scallywag, and she not acting like, I don't want to say the term, but I just can't get my auntie out my head. My auntie called it a bull dagger. I don't. I ain't come up with that. I ain't come up with that. I really don't know what it means. But where I come from, and that might be a slur, but some people call it a stud. Some people call it a butch. Some people say dyke. I don't know what the proper term is, but like a manly woman. Caitlyn Clark, although she not she not blonde hair, blue eyes, which was always seen as like, oh, this the stereotypical beautiful white woman, blonde hair, blue eyes. She not that. She the opposite of that. But yet she not walking around like sagging pants, or she not walking around, just dressing like a man all the time. And she not, like, even at the thing, she had on a kind of masculine feminine outfit for the draft, but it was a skirt and heels. But then if you look at Angel Reese, her outfit looked like from one of them shows you might go see, burlesque show. Like, her outfit was the complete way far other spectrum. And so that's why people don't really rock with Angel Reese as much, because it's like, listen, you doing too much. You doing the most. Like, you are telling my daughter she gotta dress like a sex symbol. And then Angel Reese was crying, talking about she's been objectified or she's been made a sex symbol, but she poses like a sex symbol. She dance and twerk and do all kind of stuff that make people put her in that light. Like, she put herself in that light. And then when people say, okay, this who you want to be with, we'll rock with it, then she crying. Whereas with Caitlyn, she not playing the victim. She going out, she balling out, she doing her thing, she comfortable in her own skin. And this is what every father, I don't even got no daughter, but I could tell you every father in America want their daughter to be like Caitlyn Clark, in the sense of comfortable in her own skin, comfortable in her own woman power, not feeling like she gotta walk like, talk like, and act like a man to be validated as an athlete. And so that is her fanfare. People don't understand it, what it is, but that's her fanfare, because she represents the quintessential American woman. She represents what the majority want their daughter to represent. Woman power, she power, what you call it? Feminine power. Like, just be yourself. You don't got to braid your hair. You don't got to try to talk like a black girl from the inner city. You don't got to try to, date a black man to pass the vibe check. You don't got to dress like a man and act like a man and just hang with all men to show that you masculine enough. And if you notice, a lot of women basketball are women who have adopted the mindset of a man to trick themselves into being dominant at the sport. But here come Caitlyn Clark, still keeping her femininity. She's defining her femininity. It's not in a box. It's not like, oh, to be feminine, I gotta have on a bunch of lip gloss. I gotta have on super long lashes. I gotta have on nails. I gotta have on makeup. She defining her femininity. And she not hating on the other women. A lot of women hate on her. She ain't hating on nobody. So what that represents, it represents confidence. It represents self-love. It represents assurance. And this is what the world want to see in women. They want to see those attributes and characteristics that Caitlyn Clark is showing. And now there are other women who have who play sports, who have those same attributes, but they haven't developed their game the way Caitlyn has developed her game. They haven't worked on their game the way she has worked on her game. And so the fact that she has worked on her game, and she's an outlier, which Malcolm Gladwell, his book, The Outlier, she's an outlier because she have brothers. So you do have, when you playing rough and you getting beat up on and you getting toughened up and you got daily in-house battles and challenges, it develop you differently. So you could have another woman, which could be a black woman, Asian woman, Hispanic woman, who is authentically herself. She love herself. She's sure of herself. She don't hate on other women. But she didn't have 2, 3 brothers. She didn't have that daily in-house. She just had herself working on the court. Boo, 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 boo. Might have was working with her daddy or her mama, whoever, but she ain't have that extra push, every day in the house. So she don't have that outlier ability. And that's what, so I want y'all, I'm sharing this because I want you to think about this when you raising y'all daughters. Because my son, he be 17 this month, April 26th, he'll be 17. And he was like, Dad, it's gonna be hard for me to find a wife. He's like, the girls in my generation, they just so loose. Like they so promiscuous. They so into all this craziness. He's like, they just so like, they don't know who they are. Like they so mentally weak and just so attention seeking and petty and messy and just, they don't have no cool, chill, secure, confident. And that's how you got to raise your daughters and as well as your sons. And those people, and I like I tell my son, I say, son, you're gonna meet somebody that was raised like you was raised. You just got to wait till you get into a place like at a university where there's a much larger demographic, where there's way more women, and then at a small high school. I'm like, don't worry about dating and all that in high school. Wait till you get to college, and then you're gonna be able to tell a woman, you're gonna be able to tell who she is by how she carry herself. You're gonna see by the way that she dress. That's gonna tell you a lot about her. Not to say that a woman can't dress classy and still be loose, and not to say that a woman can't dress scantily clad and be conservative with her body. So yeah, you can only go so far if you judging a book by a cover all the time, but you'll be able to use that as a baseline, then go and get to know her to see if she is what she portrays herself to be, or to see if she's an outlier, or to see if she's an exception to the rule. But you get to know people, like talk to them, go out for lunch, dinner, and just be cool. At the end of the day, you making friends. But then when you meet that one and she got your values, your morals, your principles, and y'all click, y'all connect, and your core principles are the same, like your faith and things of that nature, your belief system, y'all hitting on all cylinders right there, y'all firing on all cylinders, and then she still, she look decent to you. She ain't got to be the most gorgeous thing in the world, but if she don't turn your stomach, then y'all, and you don't turn her stomach, y'all got something. And that's what I want y'all to think about. So a lot of times, some people try to make this about race. It ain't about race. If there was a black woman or a Hispanic woman or an Asian woman as good as Caitlyn Clark, they'll be in the same spotlight. Almost. The reason why it wouldn't be the same exact is because there's more white people in America than any other race. So she's gonna have an extra little push because she's gonna have every single white person behind her. Whereas if she was black, she still would have a lot of fanfare, but she wouldn't be as popular because there would be a sector of other races that are prejudiced. And so they wouldn't want to support her. They wouldn't care about her being great. And being an athlete, black people are kind of synonymous with athlete. So it's not as shocking. Whereas white people are not synonymous with star athlete. Because when you look in the history of sports, you got Larry Bird, but even him, he looked unathletic. But you got Babe Ruth, but it's a handful of like white athletes that you see as athletic. And so, but black people, if you see an athletic black person, you're like, oh, you're from Africa. What do you expect? You've been over there chasing lions and running from tigers. It's like, of course you can run and jump. It's like nobody's shocked. And so it's different when a white person shows extreme precision and athletic ability, because people like, even white people, they call themselves uncoordinated. And they say, oh, white man can't jump. Like this stuff come from white people by themselves. So that's the other thing, is like, for her to be performing on this level, people like, where you get this spatial reasoning from at this level? Like, how is your spatial reasoning as good as Steph Curry's, who dad played in the NBA? Like, how is this happening? So it's more so kind of perplexing. And then white America loves a great white hope in sports. That's why the white boxer that was called a great white hope, it was like because black men started dominating. You know, you got Jack Johnson, then you got Muhammad Ali, you got Sugar Ray Robinson, you got Mike Tyson. So when they finally had a white boxer that was like could hang with the black guys, he became a great white hope because it was like, wow, we got somebody who is tough and athletic and, you know, brutal and can get in there and mix it up with these guys who come from slavery, who's out in the hot sun picking cotton. Their ancestors, man, they went through a lot, man. You know, we put them through a lot with the dogs and with the fire hoses and with the deuces. It's like, man, these guys, you know, they're not just in there fighting, man. They're in there fighting 400 years of slavery, man. So if you get in there and you can go toe to toe with a guy who was fighting against 400 years of slavery, man, you are something. And so that's another thing with this. But what I want y'all ladies to understand is you as a woman, you get to define your femininity. So if your femininity is long lashes, that's your prerogative. But if you are the type of woman you don't want to wear long lashes, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, it's so many women. My wife, she dressed the way she dressed. She was an athlete. She was a hooper. She played basketball, volleyball. She was like a pinch runner in softball. She ran an 800 in track. She went Division I, ran 800 in college. And she can dress up like really, really feminine and wear a skirt or a dress and heels. But she also liked to wear jeans and different type of jeans, form-fitting jeans, baggy jeans, oversized blazers. Like, she got all different kind of styles that she liked. And whenever she would post pictures, women would come in the comments like, can you wear a dress? I want to see you in a dress more. And she like, no, that's not me. I don't want to wear a dress. And it ain't nothing wrong with the way that I dress. And so you get to define your femininity, which, you know, like the doll, I think it's on Bugs Bunny, you know, the female rabbit, I don't know her name, Bugs Bunny or whatever, how they will try to over sexualize her. That's how some women try to do themselves. Like, they feel like they got to have their booty cheeks real plump and hanging out, like they got to have a dress or a skirt or something that stopped right at the bottom of their booty cheeks to where you could kind of see the bottom of the booty cheek almost. They feel like they got to have all their cleavage out. They feel like they got to have their lips pumped up ×6. They feel like they got to have lashes ×6. They feel like they got to have on 5 layers of makeup like a birthday cake. They feel like they got to have nails like Edward Scissorhands. And they feel like all of that is what makes a woman feminine. And that's not the case. You can define, if you want to do that, that's your prerogative, that's up to you, but don't get pigeonholed or get made to believe that femininity has one look. Because you are an individual and you have a personality and you can define your femininity. Now, I can't say the same about masculinity because men, we not as nuanced. I can't say the same about masculinity. So, if a woman paint her nails and a man paint her nails, that man is being feminine. But now they trying to make nail painting and dangling earrings and dry humping a man in the booty with clothes on like Jaden Smith did to Justin Bieber. They trying to make all of those things masculine. And they trying to say that if you confident in your masculinity, you could do all those things. And that's not the case. That's not the case. It's not the case. Hey, this is Tony Gasson. God bless you. We'll talk soon.